Will, Ang and Jerry, I want to ask about shooting 120 frames per second. Why go that way? And for a lot of people who aren't like super tech savvy with sort of thing, like what exactly does that mean? What was the goal with the 120 frames per second?
I think the goal is to bring a new experience to an audience. We haven't made huge technological advances in cinema for quite a while. I mean, we went from black and white to color. We're digital, mostly digital now, so the image is clearer. But this is a huge jump as far as what an audience is going to experience. It's immersive. It puts you right in there with the actors, and it takes a little while for you to get used to it because you're not used to seeing something with such clarity ever. So Ang really is pioneering this technology because we have to advance cinema. I mean, people are so comfortable in their homes because they have these big televisions and everything is interesting that we're making for television. There's a lot of good material on television now. So we have to have technology that you can't actually see in your home to get people back to the theaters.
And the cameras that you used, yeah.
I was going to say, in order to, it's so clear, so it responds the way reality responds to your eye, and that was the attempt to make it a much more realistic experience. So much so, it's so crystal clear that the actors couldn't wear makeup because when the camera comes in, you could see makeup on our faces. So it was I had to drink a lot of water, couldn't afford a breakout. Yeah.
The cameras that you used.
To me, people talk about clarity. To me, it's really the sharpness. I think when you're doing 3D, to allow people to be more immersive, to mimic the experience, how we experience in real life, so you feel it's real, you're in it. To invite them to that world, it's not just clear, it's sharp. The way you process the image through two eyes with an angle is different than when we used to watch movie, which is more dreamy. Oh, it's lovely. It's the best thing happened to me, to anybody in our lives. But this is something new. When you want to experience the movie, then just watching it, when you're basking in that situation, I think your mind needs to be sharper. It just needs to be sharper in perception. Details, you have to be more accurate to even begin with. I think eventually we'll go to that abstract feeling, like we do abstract feeling about a man's struggle with himself. But when you visualize it, when you play out, it takes a lot of details and sharpness, even just the process in our head to believe that's real. Like real life. So the frame rate needs to be raised. At least the basic is the stroke free. Because in life there's blur, there's no stroke. It's not lifelike. Your eyes want to believe that's real, then you have to get rid of those obstacles to allow them to get into that world. They're really challenged at how do you make that movie. We don't know how to, we just try. I hope it works. It's a new media. It's technology related, but it's really a media. And we're trying to find a way to find a relationship with that media.
I mean, clearly it's a movie that it's absolutely like the ultimate big screen, cinematic, immersive experience. Like throughout the whole course of the film, you're in it. And I think that's a testament to the film. But Will, so throughout the course of the making of the movie, so you finally get to a point where the movie is far enough along where you're able to see whether it's a scene, a work print, or maybe the finished cut. You sit down, you watch the movie, and you see Junior. What goes through your mind?
Yeah, no, it was really crazy. The first time I saw it, it was chilling almost. It was a little scary because the first one I saw was one of my favorite shots in the whole movie was when Henry flips Junior over in the catacombs and then puts the light up onto Junior's face. And so that was one of the first completed shots that I saw. And it was a little bit surreal, a little bit weird, And then I started getting excited about all of the possibilities. The young Will Smith, young Marlon Brando movie that could get made, you know, and they could get made while I'm at home, which would be great, you know. But it's a full 23-year-old digital version of myself, and my mind just started to go wild about what you'd be able to do. Even the action sequences, how the action sequences were done is normally you do an action sequence and you can't actually punch somebody in the face. So you take the shot and you go by and the actor goes, and you go, no, you missed, so you move the camera and you keep going. Now what we do is what they were able to do with this technology. You do the scene, you do the swing, and then they take the fist and actually put it on the face of the digital character and bend the face and throw the sweat and all of that. So when you're seeing those shots now, whereas we're used to seeing misses with sound and blur, now you're seeing full shots in the same way you'd see in MMA, right? So it was a really a great new way to do the action, and you do all these different variations, and then the stuntmen can do full takes and we can do full takes, and then they'll be able to make the most visceral version of it when they get all of those assets into post. So in terms of action, I'm really excited about the use of this technology in the future.
Well, let's take questions from the audience. Fred, you're first. You. Oh yeah, here comes the mic.
I will. Well, now I want to know if the episode of Fresh Prince where Will's father comes to visit was one of Anglee's references for you.
Yeah, no, he didn't pull that one. He with the Fresh Prince, I think Ang. He found it more interesting to show me what not to do.
You crafted your movie career very carefully with science fiction movies that were inspired by the movies that were the biggest hits at the box office at the time. Well, in this climate today, as Scott was describing with franchises and reboots and everything, is a movie like Gemini Man the underdog?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. In this new world, it's a whole lot safer to from a financial standpoint to make a part 3 of something than it is to do something brand new from the ground up. But that's what we were all excited about with this, and what Ang kept saying, and why to push the envelope is to give people a new reason to go to movie theaters to see something that you can't see at home. In terms of, I think, the first part of the question was for me, it was Star Wars was the movie when I was growing up that absolutely, I was stunned sitting after Star Wars ended. I couldn't believe that they could make me feel like that with a story and with these characters. And I think career-wise, the things I've been chasing are Star Wars and Thriller. Are the two pieces of entertainment that I've always been hoping to make something that matches for others how I felt when I experienced those.